Hello, this is Ron Holland again. Today I'm going to be talking specifically about how I help to mentor people who are in the consultancy business already. And today I want to give you some real little tips that'll help you get your mind around becoming a big earner in the field of consultancy. We've talked a little bit about it before. There are a lot of consultants out there who do a very, very good job, but they're not making big money. Now, hopefully these little tips are going to help you along that process. What I'm going to focus on specifically today is what I call shattering the myths. And the first myth that I want to shatter is that you can start up a consultancy business without capital. Now, I know some people have, and indeed over the years I have done that. But if you've got a little bit of capital behind you to get you through to when your consultancy business practice takes off, that's good. Not only that, if you've got a little bit of capital there to help with the marketing so you can attract some good clients to you, that's a good thing. So I mention this because there are consultants out there wondering why they're not making big money, but they've always been behind the eight ball. They've never had the capital to get the thing off the ground properly. So something to be aware of. So yes, to articulate it, you can get a consultancy business off the ground without capital, but if you've got a little bit of capital behind you, that will give you some clout. Second myth I want to articulate: no selling involved. Now, make no mistake about it, consultancy is a service that you sell to other people or to other firms or companies for money. And it strikes me that if you're a good salesman, you're personable, you're articulate, you can get in there and make a presentation and make your case, you're going to be doing a lot better than the person who hasn't got that sales ability. So quite important. It's one of those things, if you haven't got sales ability, learning how to gain rapport with your customer, the empathy, and make a good presentation, these are skills that can be very, very easily learned. So good salesmen are much better consultants than people who can't sell the job. This is another myth I want to shatter. Consultancy can't be sold over the telephone. Believe you me, a lot of big consultants out there have call centres and people in the office making calls and making that initial introduction. I do a lot of selling over the telephone. So if you're articulate and know exactly the niche that you're in and how to pitch and how to present the thing and tell your prospect exactly what it is that you're looking for, consultancy is definitely something that can be sold over the telephone. Myth number 4: become a consultant and the big fees will just roll in. I want to shatter this myth because there are thousands of consultants out there. Many of them do a startling, astounding, stunning job, but they do not get the big fees rolling in. So that's something that you want to bear in mind. And part of my mentor program for consultants is not just to teach you the consultancy game, but more importantly, how to earn those big fat fees. This is vitally important. And I can see it every day, consultants doing a super job, but they're not earning the money they ought to be earning. And there's methods and methodologies we're going to be talking about on another video on how to make that money coming in. So just by virtue of the fact that you've become a consultant doesn't guarantee the big fees. You've got to do something absolutely specific. Myth number 5 I want to shatter: the market is saturated. Absolutely not. I've been in the mentoring and consultancy business for many years, over 30 years. And believe you me, this is an industry, I think it's about a 12 billion a year industry in the UK, growing year on year out. The secret is to find your own specific little niche, right? And that's what my mentoring does and helps you with. Myth number 6 that I want to shatter: no travel involved. And I remember I was in the back of a London cab with Sir John Harvey Jones, and we were having a good old chat, and he was telling me he's been into every country in the world, but he hasn't seen those countries because most of his time was spent in hotel rooms with his team, with clients, that kind of thing. I've done things differently. I've travelled the world extensively and expensively, I hasten to add, but when I've got out there, after I've seen my clients, I've also got out and seen the country and got to know the locals and the culture and everything else. So I've always had fun and money. So there is travel involved, and you want to remember, if you're not prepared to travel to your clients after they've been qualified, don't forget there will be somebody else willing to get on a plane or in a car and go and see somebody, and I'm one of those people. Not so much now, but I certainly travel the world, done a lot of consultancy across America, Australia, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, but now I have an office in West London. Most people come to see me. Anyone can do it. I want to shatter the myth. Anyone can set themselves up a consultant. Really and truly, to earn the big fees from a niche market takes a little bit of thinking about and getting your core skills and some ducks in a row so everything happens effortlessly. So you might have been one of those people who thought, oh, anybody can do this consultancy work, and the money's really never flooded in for you because you haven't got your mind around all the elements of making it happen. And in this course of videos, we're going to be talking about marketing, presenting, developing value-added products, the whole thing, right? But they're going to be sharp and concise and give you some real value for money and some real ideas. So anybody can do it, but it's much more beneficial if you've got a toolkit that allows you to get out there and earn big money out of niche market consultancy. This is a nice one, a myth that I want to shatter. You can only earn big fat fees if you work for one of the big top 6 consultancy firms. That's an absolute myth, and I know some people as well as myself only earning serious money out of niche market consultancy. And I got one guy, I think he's done about 40 consultancy deals where his fees have been over $1 million each. That's serious money. And when I start to mentor you, I will show you in detail how some of these big mentoring packages are sold. Myth number 9, you need backup staff, support and back office people. And I'm one of those people who've done a lot of consultancy, a lot of mentoring all over the world. Very rarely do I use other people. My presentations, my pitches, I quickly knock them out myself, and I just draw on the knowledge that I've got to share with those clients that I'm talking about. I hate overheads, and maybe if you're in a consultancy business and not making a lot of money, you might be wanting to do a cost-cutting exercise and really cut out any dead wood, right? That's my big thing. Get the money flooding in with the tips and of the trade that I teach you, but cut down the overheads, slash the overheads. Myth number 10, accountants make good consultants. Sometimes they do, but not always. The accountants that I know who make good consultants have honed up their presentation skills, honed up their selling skills, so the accountancy thing is pushed into the background. What they're more concerned about is how they can really help their client progress and make things happen. So accountants don't necessarily make good consultants. The ones that do have honed up other skills as well as their accountancy skills. Myth number 12, it's impossible to get into big companies if you're a small consultancy practice. Absolute myth. You need to know your way in, and one of the ways these days is obviously through warm recommendations, through kind of social media sites like LinkedIn, making the connection at the very high level, all right, and not just trying to go in and get past the gatekeepers, but going in at a very warm level. You're going to like this one. Myth number 13, sex matters right? Now, in consultancy, I know a lot of lovely, lovely ladies who are unbelievably, exceptionally good consultants in their little niche markets that they've made themselves. And again, if we get involved, I'll show you how they've developed those niches, but sex doesn't matter in the consultancy. And I'd like to see more women in it and more women coming to me for training and mentoring, because there's a huge opportunity out there at this moment in time, I would say, particularly for women. So if you're a female looking to get into that consultancy, or indeed you already have a consultancy practice of your own and not making the big money, definitely talk to me, because there are some real angles out there for you. Myth number 14, want to shatter, the last one, age matters. Now this is very interesting, because I know consultants, some of them very, very young, 19, 20, and I know some kind of consultants 68, 70, both making very, very good money. And it all depends what niche you get into. So the consultancy arena is wide open for young people and old people alike, providing you get your mind around that specific niche. The young people I see getting into it are obviously in the modern technology, social media, internet marketing, all of that kind of thing. And the older people, particularly what I call from the old school, do different things, but those skills are definitely needed even in today's market, maybe even more so. So age does not matter in the consultancy thing. What matters, particularly if you want to make big fat fees from niche market consultancy, is getting a mentor on side that can get all, or help you get all of the ducks in the row. The cost effective marketing, we'll be looking at it on another video, all of the different things, the presentation to actually make it come together for you. So check me out on wealth.co.uk. That's wealth as in having lots of money, which is what you're going to have soon. This is Ron G. Holland. Look forward to my next video soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.